I did want to ask you, because we did get kind of cut off. I threw it at Joey Silk earlier in the hour. I didn't really get to let you finish that. Give me your thoughts one more time on Joey, talking about all his injuries, football mortality. They got other problems there too, Joe. Tee Higgins hasn't been seen yet in any of their offseason stuff or signed his franchise tag. Are you worried at all about Joey Silk and the Bengals going into this year?
No, I'm not worried. But again, when you start thinking about injuries, right, that's when injuries occur. I hate to say that, but, it's a reactionary sport, football. When you start to think about it and think about injuries or thinking about how you're going to fall or slide, that's all of a sudden a problem, especially for a quarterback. Joe Burrow is the best when he just, ice cold, in his veins, and he steps up and he just reacts. That's the quarterback that I want to see. And again, he's so young. He's out of college, basically 5 years. He's a baby. And you're thinking about football mortality? Come on. Again, he had the ACL. I get it, but they patched him up. They fixed him up. He got $55 million. The wrist injury, nothing that you can't play through. This is it. It's your job. You want to seal the deal and you want to solidify yourself as a top-tier quarterback, win the Super Bowl, win an AFC championship. They're going to need to do it with Tee Higgins or at least Jamar Chase. Chase needs to be happy as well.
He does need to be happy as well, Joe. That's for sure.
I'm a little nervous. A little.
You should be.
Slight.
You should be. We'll stay in the AFC North, and we'll go to Pittsburgh, where, of course, they have not one but two new quarterbacks on the roster coming into this year. And Russell Wilson is, as Mike Tomlin has said many times, going to get the first crack. He's going to be the starter, let's be honest. That Tomlin's going to go with the vet with the steady hand of Russ heading into the season. But listen to Russ here, Joe. I know this is going to gas you up. He feels very good, maybe even, let's just say, rejuvenated heading into this season.
I feel the fountain of youth, man. I feel revived in every way, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. I feel confident. I think at some point you got to know who you are. As a player, as a man, as a competitor. As somebody who's been fortunate to play in this game. I don't doubt it. I just trust it. I felt really good last year playing. I felt really confident in the midst of everything. And so I think right now I have all that confidence times 10. So I just use it all. Just use it all. You just trust it, and you take one day at a time, and you just put in the work. I just think that's the part that I love. There's nothing like doing the work. There's no substitute. There's no substitute for the hard work, and that's the part that I love.
Blue collar, Joe. There's no substitute for hard work. He just said it right there. No substitute.
Okay, couple of things. And this is, I love the Pittsburgh Steelers. Okay, again, I'll go back to the days when Nana Lisi, growing up with the Franco Harris, jersey in the house. She was born and raised in Jim Thorpe, PA. So we love the Pittsburgh Steelers. I wish I had Mike Tomlin as the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. That aside, the best quarterback on that roster happens to be Justin Fields. And if the Steelers are going to contend for an AFC North title or an AFC championship, they need to start Justin Fields sooner rather than later. And I'll say this about Russell Wilson, okay? If I was buying a car and Russell Wilson was the salesman, I would never buy a car for him because he's a complete fraud. He's he's absolutely out there, okay? He's selling snake oil. If you can't tell that what he just said was an absolute joke. He never worked with the Denver Broncos. Outside that one prop photo spoof that he made in terms of West Palm, Florida, where he was putting the helmet on and trying to throw with the wide receivers. He never tried to help the younger players on that team. I said it once. The Seattle teammates hated his guts. The Denver Broncos players hated his guts, and the Pittsburgh Steelers teammates will hate his guts before the season's over as well. Buy into Justin Fields sooner rather than later. He's a complete joke. And I used to think he was a gamer back in his early days in Seattle. He might have been that player 10 years ago. He's not that player now.
I don't know, Joe. He says he's found the fountain of youth. It could be a whole new
don't get me started.
For him.
You know that. Come on, Broncos Nation. Come on. He's selling snake oil. He's selling snake oil and encyclopedias.
Let's ride. Here's one for me, Joe, that I had to take a little step back when I heard it. So Josh Allen spoke yesterday, Buffalo Bill mandatory mini camps. And what has he been working on in the offseason, Joe? Now, Josh, I have never felt has had any mechanic problems. When he came out in the draft, Joe, I think there was people that thought he needed to become more accurate, which he did, to be fair. You look at those completion percentage numbers for him and whatnot, they have gotten to a very high level in the league. But what has Josh been working on, Joe? He's been working on his mechanics heading into this year.
Yeah, big time on just mechanically getting it as efficient as possible. Meeting with Chris Hess, who's been here, he owns Biometric, just digitally mapping our throwing motions right now and just seeing what we can tighten up on and improve on. And just having that in the back of our mind. So when we're doing our individual work, when we're inside the building, making sure that we're doing everything we need to do and I need to do to be as clean as possible. If you can deliver the ball as consistently as possible, it takes less to think about, and then you could focus more on, what the defense is presenting. Just trying to be as efficient as possible in my throwing motion right now.
This is the problem.
I don't need this, Joe. Let me just tell you something. What makes this guy great is that he can do things that other guys can't on the fly. I don't need him sitting down and starting to become some chart and graph quarterback. I don't need that, Joe. Fine, you want to be more efficient, mechanics, blah, blah, blah. I want to see him, Joe, get back to deep balls. I want to see that get back. I want to see him making plays on the fly. That's what makes him the quarterback that he is, not worrying about mechanics. And I'm sure all quarterbacks go through this, Joe. They want to do things quicker, better, faster, whatnot. It better not change the way that he's been, Joe, because that's why he's one of the best in the league.
I agree. With Josh Allen, you take the good, you take the bad, and the ugly, and that's the overall package, right?
Yes.
You got to take everything. I will say
not
this,
as much ugly anymore.
No, I agree, but the interceptions at times, but let me just say this. That's what makes his game so unique. And the problem, yet again, is we're having a quarterback start to worry about mechanics. Is my arm at a 90-degree angle? Do I have my right foot in front by 2 yards as opposed to 3 yards? These are all things that make players think. And, you go back to a reactionary sport. I'm a believer in if you could get the ball from point A to point B, I don't care how you do it, just do it, right? That's the biggest thing. I don't know if you remember this, but Nick Saban had a punter, and it was in the book that came out, that he had a punter and they changed his mechanics because he was, it was trying to be more efficient. And he threw that out the window. Just do it and do it right as long as you feel comfortable. And these coaches try to change too much. And then, what happens? The quarterback goes into this big abyss and he never gets out. So I hope for your sake, he doesn't start at least listening to the charts and graphs guys, because then you're in trouble.
I'm with you. I hope that he doesn't start listening to the charts and graphs guys either. But I still think, Joe, he's got a lot of interesting pieces around him this year. And the offense is going to be able to move the football, and they're going to be able to put points up. I saw Keon Coleman signed his rookie deal this morning as well, which is good news up in the Below. Sleeper pick of the draft, Keon Coleman. Sleeper pick of the draft. I got all Joe's favorites today. Jim Harbaugh is going to be out there on the West Coast now, loving West Coast living, and loving, Joe, his new quarterback, Justin Herbert. He's glad that guy's on his team.
The athleticism and the strength, really, he could play tight end here. He could play edge rusher
here. We go. Edge rusher. Here we go.
And he can really, and the arm talent is even better than advertised.
I thought J.J. McCarthy was the best he ever saw.
It's an exciting thing. I found myself just sitting at my desk at times and going, he's on our team,
That's your boy, Joe. That's your boy.
This guy,
right there.
Come on. Really?
Get ready. You get a lot of that from Jim this year. Jim's going to be fun. He's going to have a lot of silly stuff that he brings out to the table. The Kansas City Chiefs, they will be ready to defend their Super Bowl. They're going for 3 in a row. God, somebody please stop that. Travis Kelce, there was always that talk the last few years, Joe, of maybe some retirement for Travis. He says, no, I'm ready to keep going, and I want that workload.
Wear and tear me, baby. I'm ready for it, man. Put the load on me. I love being accountable for the men and the women in this building and Chiefs Kingdom. I love the aspect of, everybody counting on me to try and make that play for the team and just do the right things out there on the field and better judgment for the team. And I don't think that anything from last year, put more miles on me, made me, less of a player. I think it was all in all, it was just, focus, being my own worst critic, and capitalizing in situations that I should have.
Joe, your thoughts?
These are like, who could do it better? Like, so over the top. I mean, the men, when he first started saying the men and being accountable for the men and women in the building, I thought he was talking about being a firefighter. Granted, he's a great player. We understand Travis Kelce, Hall of Famer. I get it, but come on. Could we stop now? Really, could somebody beat them? Could somebody beat them this year? Hopefully it's Joey Silk. I don't want to see him in there again. I don't want to see his brother in the stands. I don't want to see Taylor Swift and the whole bid with the outfit and, enough. I'm sick of it.
You and me both, Joe. In fact, you, me, and probably everybody else who isn't a Kansas City Chief fan. We're hoping that somehow, some way, that reign ends here this year. They are the favorites again, though, to win the AFC, as you see up there on the big board. Nice, hefty 3-1 price. Ravens, Bills, Bengals, Texans, Dolphins, Jets, et cetera, down the board for the AFC.
Carver, I tell you what, you take the first 5 choices and you can't lose money, right? I mean, that's the way I feel. The Dolphins aren't winning the AFC championship. Like, come on. I'm a Dolphin fan. We know that. I mean, that's no shot. They got absolutely no shot. No shot. Chargers, no shot. Jets, no shot. I'll go through put the list up again. No shot. Raiders, no shot. We know it. Texans, maybe. Outside, chance, maybe. Joey Silk and Buffalo, I would say, are the 2 best to potentially dethrone them, but who knows what you're going to get out of Josh Allen now with the charts and graphs.
All right, let's play the games first. We'll play the games first before we see how deep into the weeds he's gone with that. Here's Dak Prescott saying for the 900th time this offseason that he's willing to gamble on himself. But this time, Joe, he wanted to make sure he let people know that's not exactly what he means.
But there's also some uncertainty with contracts for guys last year for you, last year for some guys, every coach, all that stuff. Does it raise any urgency as you're going into this season?
This is the urgency you should always have, to be honest. So maybe guys who normally wouldn't feel it. So I don't mind it. Been in this position before. I'm a gambling man. Will gamble on myself and my guys. So not actually, guys. I understand. I understand you're doing a lot of shit with that. So.
You gotta be
not
careful,
that way.
Joe.
Just so yeah. That being said, yeah. There you go.
Shouldn't you
Joe, I like that.
On yourself? I know. Hell, we don't need a Justin Porter type of situation, right? We don't need a Jameson Williams or a Calvin Ridley type of situation.
No. Don't track my phone. No.
No prop bets for me.
NFC. There's the NFC for you as well, Joe. Look at all the football I gave you today. The Niners are there. There's the Cowboys. Under the Packers now, huh? Packers are higher on the board than the Cowboys.
Well, here's what I'll say. You bet the Niners, the Lions, the Eagles, the Packers. Right?
Here we go.
And then take a shot
Joe's
on the Rams.
got it all figured out. Joe's got it all figured out.
The Rams are the outlier. The Rams, I think, are going to have some juice. As long as Stafford's there, Puka Nacua, you got Blake Corum, Kyron Williams. I mean, come on, they're loaded. I mean, as long as they're healthy, you got Jared Verse, excellent choice. Fisk, excellent choice to make up for Aaron Donald. I think they're going to be there. Don't be shocked. You heard it here first. Don't be shocked if the Rams challenge the Niners for the West title.